the year, when they get into conference play, when they get into the college football playoffs. Welcome back, brother.
Welcome back, Aaron.
Yeah, I can't stand Spectrum. I really cannot stand Spectrum at all.
I told you, man. You got to get those Wi-Fi extenders. It'll boost your connection. It'll never happen. Once we got that for the old house, it was smooth sailing from there. They're a little expensive, but they're worth it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but yeah, I agree. I think Shanahan knows who he's getting already. Do I agree with it? Hell no. But hey, it's not my team. It's not my team, so it's no skin off my back. And JR, I mean, I think you can kind of agree to that. I mean, you know, Mac Jones, I mean, to me, and someone I forget who said this, but he reminds him of Kyle Bowler, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting comparison.
Excuse my ignorance, but who's Kyle Bowler?
Exactly.
He's actually the quarterback for Baltimore at one point, and if I remember correctly, I don't remember how far he went, but I know he took Baltimore deep, but wasn't because of him, it was because of the defense.
It's like the Joe Flacco effect. Joe Flacco, average to above average at best quarterback, had speed on the outside, but had a phenomenal defense.
So here you guys go. He was taken with the 19th overall pick in the first round in 2003. His touchdown to interception ratio, 48-54.
Sheesh.
With a quarterback rating of 69.5.
That's kind of funny.
That's not what you want out of a first round pick.
I thought I was just listening to Drew Lock, but whatever. So I'm not going to
Hold on. Speaking of Drew Lock, Tom Brady was a free agent going into the last season, and I raised the question to Aaron, would you rather move forward with Drew Lock, or would you rather take the risk with the aging Tom Brady? And Aaron said he would rather move forward with Drew Lock, and I don't think I will ever let him live that one down. Makes sense for the franchise, but Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and Tom Brady went out and won a freaking Super Bowl the very next season, so...
Well, I will say this. Yes, that is true, but Denver was not on his radar. It was either going to be the Chargers or it was going to be Tampa. So it didn't matter if he wanted to come, if we wanted him. It was just never going to happen. So I went with the young guy. I mean, I was excited for Locke, and he kind of hit a dud, and I think it's time for a change. Now, granted, I will say I will give him, a 2% pass, because he didn't have any off season with Shermer at all because of COVID or anything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I said it. I mean, it is what it is at this point, So, kind of going back to what Will said about Julio. I mean, it'd be a lot of dead cap situation for the Falcons, and it would be hard to move him. But realistically, for me, I would kind of want to see him in a Baltimore uniform. I think that'd be kind of sick.
Traitor.
I mean, for me, it almost makes the most sense because Lamar needs a big target down there. I mean, but we'll see. I don't think he's going to get moved at all. And the thing I kind of disagree with Will is the whole Matt Ryan, the Falcons, if they were to release or trade him, they would eat a lot of dead cap. And I don't think they want to do that right now. In 2 years, possibly, because then he'd have one more year on his deal. So I just don't see the Falcons, especially if they draft Justin Fields, because Justin Fields, to me personally, depending what situation, again, he gets into, he could sit behind the ear and then go. So, but I personally do not think that Julio Jones is going to be on the move. That's just me personally. I don't know what you guys think on that.
I was just saying that if Julio does get traded, then Matt Ryan is next in line, because I forget where I heard or read this, but it's Grady Jarrett, Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan taking up a huge chunk of their cap over the next couple of seasons. And if you're trying to cut cap and you're trading Julio Jones, who's been your best player for how long has he been in the league? The last decade? Then you're trading Matt Ryan and you're rebuilding the proper way with a new quarterback. But that I was just making a point where if they get rid of Julio, Matt Ryan's next, and then there's no way they're not taking Justin Fields at 4. I personally believe that the first 4 picks coming off the board this year are going to be at quarterback, and then the real draft will begin. Or it might not, because you could have teams scrambling up to 5 to take the last available first round prospect. So I mean, it'll be interesting Thursday to see how all this plays out. But go ahead, Jr. You've been a little quiet over there. Go ahead and speak your piece, buddy.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just listening to you guys. It's gonna be interesting to see. Like Will mentioned, you don't really see a team moving up to the number 3 pick and then saying, yeah, we got our eyes on 5 guys. Like, that's just not. When you move up to number 3, you're like, okay, well, these first 2 teams are taking these 2 guys. This is our guy here. And honestly, I don't know what teams are saying about Justin Fields. The reason people are saying his draft stock is falling. It kind of blows my mind that I understand he doesn't play defense, so when you compare quarterback versus quarterback in games like him against Trevor Lawrence in the semifinals, you can't say he beat Trevor Lawrence. He beat Clemson's defense, and then our defense was able to slow Trevor Lawrence down. But what he did with the injury he had after taking the helmet hit straight into the back and side of the ribs, he performed exceedingly well.
That's what he does, man. He's from the Ohio State, man. Come on now.
And it just blows my mind, especially when I started hearing these rumors about his work ethic and stuff like that. That just blew my mind. I'm like, if he didn't have a good work ethic, when he took that hit, he would have been like, nope, I'm out. Like, because I'm sure at that point he knew he was going to be in the draft. He would have been like, I want to get myself ready for the draft. I'm not going to risk potentially career-ending injury.
Yep.
For one game. Like, I didn't understand those rumors at all. I believe it was probably a team further down the board just starting those rumors.
I hope it's my team.
If it's the Broncos, that's messed up. If the Broncos are starting rumors about Justin Fields just so he'll drop, that's messed up.
Outside of Trevor Lawrence and Wilson, I mean, and again, I'm not too big on Wilson. He didn't play well against the good teams, but I would want Justin Fields as my quarterback.
If Justin Fields falls to the Denver Broncos, that will be the one and only time I get any type of Denver Broncos fan gear, because I love Justin Fields. He was great for the Ohio State. I rock with the Buckeyes, even in the National Football League, unless they go to Pittsburgh or Baltimore.
True.
Which is unfortunate because J.K. Dobbins was my favorite running back coming out of Ohio State. I was very heartbroken when he went to Baltimore. But it is what it is. If Justin Fields goes to Denver, Denver has a slight, very sliver percentage of a fan in me.
That's awesome. That just made my night. I'm going to bed now. I'm curious to see where he's gonna go. whoever gets Mr. Justin Fields is going to get a quarterback that is going to work hard. And kind of piggyback on what you said about the injuries, JR. What about, the whole COVID thing? He was the one that was lobbying to play football. He wanted to play. He wanted to
Yeah.
play. He knew what was at stake. So for everyone whoever is making these ridiculous stories, you know, one, shame on you, and two, that is the complete opposite of what, outside of football is what I saw, and also hearing what his coaches and everyone who worked with him on a day-to-day basis have said. So shame on whoever is saying that. So regardless, they are going to get a good young man as their quarterback. So, I think, I have a couple more questions, but I'm going to say that for, when, we get to the Browns pick.
Okay.
So I think without further ado, JR, are you, and William too, are you ready to kind of critique, everything? So I think without further ado, JR, let's get into our final mock drafts, full
Sure
first
thing.
round with trades.
Oh, I'm
Sure.
ready to critique. I've been critiquing since you guys dropped the first one. I think I listened to it while I was at work one day, and the second I heard it, the first thing I did was grab my phone to text you guys about how wrong you were. So let's see how far this has come.
Alrighty, so JR, without further ado, your 2021 final mock draft, and to kind of speed this up because I know we.
Tribe 174.
Oh, and as Will said, the tribe won 7-4, so I believe we're back at 500. Um, without further ado, you want to go 1 through 5, and we'll I mean, one through five for me really hasn't changed, so let's go 1 through 5, and then we'll
Okay.
go from there.
All right. Yeah. Of course, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then I have the Jets taking Zach Wilson at number 2. And despite all these rumors, I'm sticking with San Francisco taking Justin Fields. And if they don't, that's their mistake. Um, and then number 4, I have Atlanta taking Kyle Pitts. So that hasn't changed. And then at 5, I have Cincinnati taking. It was a toss-up between Sewell and Chase, and I went with Chase.
Okay, William. So before you critique, I'm gonna get 1 through 5, and then you go. Okay. All right. So obviously, my number 1 and 2 is Lawrence and Wilson. For 49ers, I'll believe in the hype with Mac Jones, even though I think that's completely wrong. If Shanahan wants a quarterback, I think he should kind of gear towards how the NFL is going to be going with these mobile quarterbacks, and go with Trey Lance because he has a good arm. Just has to work on his accuracy and some mechanics that I was kind of looking with his feet. 4, here was a potential trade that I starred. I don't know if Will, you can see that because Will is behind me. I think this would be a good spot, even though I've been reading that Atlanta is not trading down, would be New England. Um, if Atlanta stays put, I think they'll take Kyle Pitts as well. And everything with the Bengals, too. I mean, everything that I've read, even though, again, I totally disagree. I think Jamar Chase is going to be the choice here, even though I believe that Higgins and Boyd, I think they shown out last year. And I think that they should go get, if they don't want Sewell, go get Slater. I mean, or move down and go get Slater. But I have them taking Chase.
1 through 5. The 1 through 3 is the easy one. I don't think that the 49ers would come out and say that it's Trey Lance or Mac Jones if they weren't going to take Trey Lance or Mac Jones. Like I said before, I personally think that Justin Fields is better than both of them. But I mean, there's not much else to say about that. 4 is the intriguing one because, like I said before, if Justin Fields is there, I don't see Atlanta passing on him. Kyle Pitts is a completely different animal, but do you want to take a tight end in the top 5? Yes, he's versatile. You can put him on the outside, but I don't know, man. I don't see anybody taking a tight end top 5, especially when there are good quarterbacks on the board that won't be there next time around. And then at 5 with Cincinnati, I don't think that they should go out and draft a wide receiver, especially with the line being as bad as it is. But I could see him doing it. AJ Green was a stud for them for years. AJ Green's gone. They might want to go out and get another AJ Green like player, but what good is an AJ Green like player if you only have 2 seconds to throw him the football? Are you gonna throw him quick outs and slants all game? Probably not. That'll everybody will catch on. That'll be easy to cover even if you do. Who knows what Cincinnati's gonna do? But if I was Cincinnati, I would go O line.
Yeah, the only thing I could think what they're possibly doing is because there's still a couple good linemen you could get in the second round. That's the only thing I can honestly think that they're doing. They're trying to replace the outside with Green, but not 100% sure.
Even with that though, like if there's a good lineman you can get in the second round, then go lineman back to back. Joe Burrow had 2 to 4 seconds max to throw all last season. He's coming off an ACL tear, which who knows how healthy it will really be. Yeah, with the technology, the doctors, and all that stuff, you can recover from that way quicker than you used to be able to. But at the end of the day, are you really going to want to risk your franchise quarterback going out there 2 years in a row and getting season-ending injuries? Or do you really want to turn him into an Andrew Luck where he's just beating up and beating up and beating up and he retires on you at 29 to 30? Long term, if you want O-line, if you want to keep your quarterback, you want these receivers that you have drafted, these receivers that you have. Even with Joe Mixon, Joe Mixon's a phenomenal running back. Give him an O-line and see what he does with an O-line. If you want to wait till the second round, just go get him back to back. No one's gonna critique you. That's your biggest flaw, period, on your team. You get an O-line, and Cincinnati could compete in a year or two for the division. I mean, Pittsburgh's depleted. The Browns, they had one good season. As much as I love that one good season, I believe the hype. Are they going to be able to piggyback off that good season and have another good season? And then you got Baltimore. Baltimore's good, but how long until Lamar Jackson is fully figured out? So if Cincinnati does this right, they could be competing within 2 to 3 years, same as the Browns. But it starts with the O line. Go get O line.
Yeah, and I think Jared and I completely agree. It's just kind of funny because you think it'd be simple. You really think it'd be that simple.
I think Cincinnati will find a way to mess it up. That's what I'm saying. I think they should take an offensive line, absolutely, but I just don't think they will.
And on a last note, if that's the case, and I know I said this previous to, is I don't want it to be like another Andrew Luck situation, is where you get the all-line, but it's a little too late. He gets beat up to a pulp. So I will go through 6 through 10, JR, and we'll kind of go from there as well. 6 with the Dolphins. Before I kind of go into the report that I read, I think this is going to be another trade scenario, pending which quarterback or quarterbacks are still on the board. I know my pick here was going to be Devontae Smith, but Pro Football Network, Tony Pauline, is reporting that the desired player at 6 is Kyle Pitts, obviously, if he's still there. But if he's gone, it's either going to be Sewell or Jalen Waddle. I'm still going to take in the fact that it's going to be a Bama wide receiver, so I'll have Waddle here just for the certain fact of he's played with Tua, and you want to have that connection. If not, I could see either Denver or New England. At number 7, I have the Lions. I have them taken Sewell. I also have the Chargers and Ben Albright. I don't know if you've heard of him. He is the Denver Writers beat writer, and he's been saying the Chargers are trying to sneak up and either get Slater or Sewell if they can. I think whoever, if it's the Chargers, the Lions, I think this is going to be a pick here, especially with the Lions. Your offensive line is garbage. So, and the Chargers want to protect, their franchise quarterback as well. 8, this could be, and, Ian Rappaport kind of reported today that the Panthers in New England have been kind of figuring out, common grounds for a trade up. But I have Carolina taking Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle from Northwestern. If he falls this far, I have never taken Fields, but there's reports going on, and Albright is saying that they are looking to either, if they're going to move up, it would either be with Carolina or the Lions. If not, they will move back. And at 10, Dallas, I went their biggest need in the secondary, and I had them taking Patrick Surtain, cornerback from Bama.
Okay. So at number 6, I have Miami grabbing. It was a toss-up between either an offensive lineman for Tua, a wide receiver, or they might trade back. But if they stay, I have them taking Waddle as well. Just for that exact reason of having chemistry with Tua. I think that could possibly help Tua develop better. Having someone familiar to throw to, they already have timing together. Waddle would know how Jalen throws the ball, and it would just be it would be a smart pick for them. And then number 7, I have New England trading up to get Trey Lance. And then 8, I have Carolina. I have them, if he's still on the board, taking Sewell, which on my board he is still available. So that's who they would grab there. Denver, I have them, if they don't trade up anywhere and staying where they are, I have them going with Surtain. And then at 10, I have Dallas taking either Farley to beef up the secondary or Rashawn Slater. I haven't really.
So before Will gets into his, because his eyes kind of just went big with Farley, so I don't have Farley going up that high, but that's, Farley is probably the second best corner in this draft. If he's fully healthy, he could do a lot of things for your defense. So, but no, that's fine. Will, I mean, your eyes just went bug wide, so I'll let you take over, buddy.
I like what JR had all the way up until the Dallas pick. Caleb Farley's injuries, I think, are going to drop him down way past the top 10. I saw a report today saying that Caleb Farley might drop out into the second round, and I could believe it. Back injuries, they're not like other injuries. They don't go away. You can tear a ligament that gets repaired. You can come back the next season and put up monster numbers, but the backs always linger. So I think a lot of teams are going to be a little fearful of that, especially because he didn't play last year. With COVID, you didn't get true workouts. You didn't get true meetings. It'll really depend on how the teams, if the team's doctors clear them. So there's a lot of question marks, and in a year where COVID messed up a lot of the draft process, I don't see somebody taking a risk like that as early as 10. Other than that, I really liked what JR had put out there. Can't really remember all of them if I'm being completely honest, but I like New England trading up for Lance at 7. I could see that being a possibility for sure, especially if he's still on the board. New England's looking for their next quarterback. I think Trey Lance would be a fantastic fit. Sit behind Cam Newton for a year or 2 years if need be, and then he takes over. I like Surtain. I believe you had him going to Denver. I like that pick a lot. You can never have too much secondary help, and Patrick Surtain is clear-cut the number 1 corner in the draft. I like, who all did you have, Aaron? I'm trying to remember. I know JR had Penei Sewell going to Carolina. That's another one I could see happening because it's not like on the offensive side they need a lot. Beef up the line, give Sam Darnold some time. I personally think Sam Darnold's going to thrive in Carolina. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to take him to the promised land, but I can see them being a solid team with Sam Darnold. Just get him a good line. They got Christian McCaffrey, who's arguably one of the best running backs in the league. They got a good deep receiving core. I like that pick with him. Aaron, what was your board looking like again?
Yeah, so and this is, depending on trades, but I had the Dolphins taking Waddle, Lions
Oh
taking
yeah,
Su- I had Lions taking Sewell, but I had Carolina taking the next best thing in Slater.
I
De-
like that.
Denver, Justin Fields, whether they move up, a smidge or not. And then I had Dallas taking Surtain since Denver wouldn't take him at 9.
Honestly, I'm just glad that both of you guys came off the Devonta Smith to Miami. Devonta Smith is an incredible talent. I don't think he's a bad wide receiver. I just think that Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase are better than him. If Jalen Waddle had played last season, I don't think Devonta Smith wins the Heisman. I think his numbers get cut in half, and Jalen Waddle's takes half of his receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Because going into the year, it was Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase. Those were the top two. That's good. His stock definitely got boosted with that Heisman Trophy. So I'm glad that you guys finally came off of that one because I remember hearing that for a while and I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, I like the Carolina taking a lineman pick. Depending on trades, really depends on how your guys' board breaks down.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, if Sertan falls to 10, Sertan will go at 10. Dallas needs a secondary desperately, but not desperately enough to take a flyer on Caleb Farley.
Yeah, and that was my bad. I thought it said a hip injury. I didn't realize it was a back injury, so that's on me for not doing proper, more in-depth research on that. So that does make sense that he probably won't go 10, and he might
Miley
not go first
Cyrus said
round.
it best, buddy. Everybody makes mistakes.
Thanks, buddy. Aaron, you want to start 11 through 15?
Yeah, I mean, starting with the Giants, I actually have them taking Devontae Smith. I think the departure of Odell kind of left them in a hole. No, they had Golden Tate, but Golden Tate, I know really, really didn't perform that well. So I have them taking Smith. Eagles, it's kind of funny because I keep hearing Eagles now want to move back in the top 10. I have the Eagles taking J.C. Horn, who arguably is becoming my favorite cornerback from this draft class. So he is a cornerback from South Carolina. Love him. I love how he plays. At number 13, the Chargers. So if they don't move up and go take, Sewell or Slater, I see them taking Christian Darrisaw, the offensive tackle from Virginia Tech. What Albright was saying is that the Chargers, those big beefy guys, and that really fits the description. The Vikings, the Vikings are a hot mess, defensively. I have them taking Kwity Paye, who's been climbing up the draft boards. He is a defensive and outside linebacker, depending where they want to put him. He's quick, fast, strong. Athleticism is off the charts, and he has been climbing up the board. So I have them taking that. And then, with New England, I think one way or another they will land Trey Lance. Will hit it on the head. Great, great, great mentor to have with Cam Newton. Almost the same type for the most part, except for Cam is a bigger bruiser in my opinion. But I think one way or another, Trey Lance will be on the New England Patriots.
Okay. And we actually have the same exact thing until pick 15, and that's only because on my trade board I have New England moving up to 7 with Detroit now picking at 15, and I have them going defense with either Micah Parsons or Zaven Collins.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be the thing. I know the Lions are super, super high on Parsons, and Parsons keeps sliding down the board. So a lot of issues to do with his character
Yeah.
as a player. the dude is a stud. He runs sideline to sideline very, very well, tackles very well. So that to me is good enough for me. So Will, take it away, buddy.
This mute button's just a little funky over on the laptop. I'm trying to keep it muted so we're not echoing the whole time. But I don't really have much to say about these picks if I'm being completely honest. You know, you guys have probably done way more research than I've been able to about what the teams need and where they're looking to pick. Um, I I don't disagree with anything you said. Selfishly though, for your pick, JR, I hope that the Browns either trade up to 15 to get Micah Parsons or Micah Parsons falls past 15 because throwing him in the type of defense that the Browns are looking to play this year, I think that he'd be phenomenal. You're not asking him to do a lot of coverage things. You're asking him to go sideline to stop the run with, Mac Wilson underperforming last year. We got a
Yeah.
couple of decent linebackers, but I mean, you add someone like Micah Parsons in the middle of that defense. I don't think Chad Henne runs for a first down in the playoff game. So just a linebacker with speed would really be nice for the Browns. But I mean, for the most, I agree with what you guys are saying about these ones. Like I said, I haven't done my fair share of research. I was underprepared coming into this, and for that, I'm a little bit sorry, but not too much sorry. But you guys are doing your thing. That's all I really gotta say.
So, before, we move on, to 16 and 20, I do want to say it sucks listening to Chad fucking Henne. I mean, been there, done that. Fucking blows, dude. So, JR, who do you have? Oh, go ahead.
I did have one more thing that I forgot to mention when I was agreeing with you. If the Giants don't take Devontae Smith, or if they don't want Devontae Smith at 11, I could see them trading down, possibly.
Well, I know their GM is I forget what's
Gettleman.
Gettleman. I almost said Letterman. I know that ain't right.
Close, close.
So, I know there was a report, and he said he ain't moving down. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I know Rappaport
Well,
said last week saying that there's a possibility. Then 2 days later, it's like, yeah, no, we ain't moving down. I said out of the 8 years that you've been a GM, about to be 9, I've never seen you move down before either. So.
he
No.
he also
He's the
said
one
that
that also said he wasn't trading Odell Beckham,
Thank
and then
you,
he traded
Will.
Odell
But
Beckham.
but here's the thing though. Out of 8 years and you haven't trade down, why starting year 9?
Make a good point. After what happened with the whole Odell thing, whatever he says kind of goes in one ear, comes out the other. If he's saying something, might he might just be saying it to get people off his back. You never know. If he wants Devonta Smith, maybe Devonta Smith's gone, and they they haven't had the strongest of draft classes with him in the front office, so you never really know what that man will do, especially after coming out and saying, "Hey, yeah, we're not trading our star receiver. That's our star receiver. Oh, here you go, Cleveland. You can have him for Jabril Peppers, who had one good year and a draft pick." So
I just don't see it happening. I personally just don't see it happening, but you know, we'll see. I mean, we got 2 days until the draft, so
All right, so continuing on with 16.
yeah.
I have Arizona beefing up their defense and taking the other linebacker between Parsons and Collins. Whoever gets taken at 15, the other will be taken by Arizona at 16. The Raiders, this one I wasn't really sure of. I think they're going to go with the linebacker out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
That's impressive. That is so impressive. I've just been calling him that Notre Dame kid who's pretty good.
I've been practicing the name. I stare at it. I study it. I remember it. No.
Like,
And then who's next?
It's about
18.
time you guys started pronouncing names properly because that's another thing early on that used to irk me. You guys would say the wrong name and I'd be sitting there like, you're killing
Yeah,
me, boys.
I used to. Yeah, I used to confuse the names a little bit.
Proud of you, Drew.
Thank you. So that brings up Miami at 18, and who did I? Hold on, let me scroll back up. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Who's there? I have them going O-line, taking Oklahoma State lineman Tevin Jenkins. Then Washington, I have them taking Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher out of Georgia, to put on the opposite side of Chase Young.
Okay.
Even learn behind him, possibly. Or maybe they move him to outside linebacker. Who knows? I mean, he's a very stout athlete. And then who's next? 20? Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago.
Chicago. I have them taking. I hope I can get his name right. Lineman out of USC.
Oh, Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yes.
Wow, damn, that's awesome.
You got it.
I'm done. I'm going to bed now. So with the Cardinals at 16, and I'm curious to see what Will said. Is what he's going to say is, I am taking a cornerback. I couldn't figure out which one because both of these guys both have injury issues, but I went with Caleb Farley, cornerback from Virginia Tech. They lost Patrick Peterson. The only guy that I really like in their secondary is Buda Baker, and that's because I love his name. All right, and he's a good player, great player. Where are we at? With 17 with Las Vegas, I have them taking Parsons right here. And the reason is, he can run sideline to sideline. I know he's not a great coverage linebacker, but he's a really good tackler, a good run stopper. So I have them Parsons going here. Dolphins, I'm taking a defensive end, Jalen Phillips from Miami. Miami bred. He's been kind of working up, his way as well. And then with Washington, Chicago at 1920, I was kind of looking into, apparently they want to jump into the top 10 as well. So I kind of put stars next to them because they do want a quarterback as well. So Washington, I have them taking Elijah Vera Tucker, the guard from USC. Then Chicago, I have them taking Tevin Jenkins, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma State. So, I mean, especially for Chicago, you kind of want to protect, Dalton. And then the same thing, whoever's going to be the quarterback for Washington too, you definitely want to, protect that quarterback. So,
yeah.
Will, take it away, bud.
I just think with the whole COVID thing, I don't see Caleb Farley. I don't see him going in the first round, man. If it was a different type of injury, 16, it's a fine flyer to take. You're trying to replace Pat Pete. You're trying to get another lockdown corner. If he's healthy, that's the guy to do it. He's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal ball player. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I really don't see. I really see the Browns trading up and going and getting Micah Parsons. I told you this a little bit. 20, if he's still on the board, I think the Browns are making calls. They have 9 draft picks to work with. They're not taking 9 rookies into this roster. There's just no way. The roster's not a rebuilding roster. It's a roster looking to make a playoff push.
Yeah.
Looking to make a playoff push. You're looking to get 1 to 2 impact guys, not starters, just impact guys for depth. And I believe that Michael Parsons would be just. It would make too much sense to not try for. If there's somebody that takes him before they get the chance to trade up. That's the only way I see him not becoming a Cleveland Brown this year. Um, Other than that, like I said, I haven't done done enough research to know what these other guys need and what they plan on taking. But I mean, I I really I really do believe that 15 to 20, the Cleveland Browns will be moving up to take Micah Parsons, and if he goes, then we'll stay at 26. We'll take the best available edge rusher or wide receiver there.
Yeah, and I do have a star next to Cleveland too. So I'm thinking, and what I've been kind of hearing too is, they are looking to move up. So that's gonna be one thing to keep an eye on what actually Cleveland does. So let's get into 21 to 25. You know what? Let's go 21 to 26, just because how I'm looking at this is so the Colts, and this is for me is where everything kind of gets funky because all these teams that are high, it's kind of hard to gauge. The Colts haven't re-signed Malik Hooker, so he's probably more than likely gone, which makes me to believe that they're going to want to replace him. And I have them taking probably the best safety out of this draft. And I'm going to say his name wrong, so bite it, Will. His name is Trayvon Morhig, safety out of TCU. And then here I have the Titans going corner, and I have them taking Greg Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern. With the Jets, I went defense on this next pick, even though they could probably kind of take this, a wide receiver possibly as well. And JR, you want to give it another shot with that Notre Dame kid, that Jeremiah.
Owusu Koromoa.
There you go. I think he will play as a hybrid for them. And they can move him all over the field. 24, I don't think is no secret. It's going to be Najee Harris, running back. 25th, Jacksonville. I have them going defense. Jason Owu, he's the defensive end from Penn State. And if you guys did not know this, he was actually recruited by Urban Meyer. So I'm going to put the connection there. And then 26, if the Browns don't trade up, I'm having them taking Rashad Bateman, wide receiver. So, personally, if everything goes according to plan for the Browns, I see them moving up. But if not, I mean, you get another good stud wide receiver for your depth. So that's who I have the Browns taking, Rashad Bateman. JR, 21 for the Colts. Who do you got?
Well, when I found out from you earlier that Hooker was not re-signed by the Colts, I switched mine up a little bit and changed it to taking Trayvon Moehrig from TCU. Originally, I had them going. Hold on, where is he? Jalen Phillips.
Okay.
But yeah, after seeing that they didn't re-sign Hooker, and because of his injury problems so far throughout his NFL career, short NFL career, they probably don't want to risk another problem like that. So I have them going with the safety out of TCU. Tennessee, it was a toss-up, but I have them taking Elijah Moore, Ole Miss wide receiver.
Okay.
I think he's smaller. He's only 5'9", 185, but he's a speedster, and I think he'll give them another weapon to use out of a play action with Derrick Henry. Then where am I? The Jets. I have them taking Greg Newsome here. And getting some help in the secondary. Pittsburgh at number 24, I have them taking Najee Harris as well. I
The
mean,
bastards. It's a running back I like.
and then yeah, Jacksonville. I have them taking either Asante Samuel Jr. or I could see them going Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
I could see them going offense or defense there. Get another weapon for Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, and then who do you have the Browns taking at 26?
This one I've been going back and forth on, and thanks to Will and his Twitter posts before I got suspended on Twitter, I really like that Bateman kid. He looks like a solid player. Yeah, I was very impressed with what I saw from him. Originally, I had them taking if they didn't move up for a linebacker, I had them taking the linebacker out of Kentucky, Jamin Davis, I believe is his name.
Yes.
That's getting some depth at linebacker. But if he's off the board, if Parsons is off the board, I say take the best available wide receiver in Bateman.
I ain't even gonna talk about the other ones. The Jets need a lot. Jacksonville needs a lot. Asante Samuel Jr. I really haven't seen linked in the first round often, so that was an intriguing one for me. I saw him going a little bit later. I mean, you never know. His dad was a stud. People might take him off the name. If anyone's gonna do it, it'll be Jacksonville. It's no surprise Pittsburgh's gonna go running back. What's his name? James Conner. He's gone. They have Benny Snell, I believe, still, but Benny Snell is slower than JR is. I could see the Najee Harris connection to Pittsburgh because he did have a phenomenal year. He almost won the Heisman, but personally, I believe Travis Etienne is the best running back in this draft class. I thought he was the best running back in last year's draft class if he would have came out. I've been real high on him for the last 3 years, but that's just me. Like I said, the Jets just need a whole new team. So whoever they take, as long as they don't miss, it's a good pick. Tennessee going after Elijah Moore is intriguing to me. He's just a speed guy. I don't think he really fits their offense well, considering they're a run first, and then they got the big guys on the outside with Davis and Brown. Tannehill's not really a gunslinger. He's not going to get the ball over the top to you the way other quarterbacks can. But I mean, at the end of the day, speed is speed. You get him in open space, and he's going to make plays for you. So I don't mind that one. With the Browns, there's you really like I said earlier, they're drafting best player available for the first time in my entire life. If they don't move up and go get Parsons, if Parsons is gone, I've seen them linked with that Notre Dame kid. I'm not even gonna try to say his name because I don't have it in front of me. I know I could if I did, but I don't have his name in front of me. There's 3 wide receivers I wouldn't mind the Browns taking if they're all on the board, and that's Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore from Purdue, who's just another speedster, 5'7", weighs about as much as paper, but he can fly. That kid's fast. I like him a lot. I actually like him over Elijah Moore and Rashad Bateman for the sure fact that he can just flat out fly. He's like a Tyreek Hill, where all Baker has to do is throw it, and Baker's got the arm to get it to him. Bateman would be a phenomenal pick as well. You're going into next season. Your wide receivers, Jarvis and Odell, they're making a lot of money. A lot of people are saying one, if not both of them, will be gone. So if you're looking to draft for the future, which Andrew Berry does, and he does very well, Bateman could be the guy to come in and take over for Odell if Odell departs. And I mean, you can never have enough depth with corner and with edge rusher. So I really believe that if the Browns don't move up to go get somebody, they will at 26 take the best player available, whether it be an edge, a corner, or a wide receiver. Personally, I would love the Browns to draft Michael Parsons or Rondell Moore, but again, that's just me. And I really didn't touch on any of Aaron's picks because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot them all. my memory ain't the greatest,
I
but
don't think any of ours is.
but I know he had the Browns taking Bateman, not a bad pick. He had Pittsburgh taking Harris, which makes about as much sense as anything. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I don't really remember. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I know. For Tennessee, I had them taking corner, just because their cornerback play has been kind of suspect at best, if you want to go that way. And I had them taking Newsom.
I do believe they got rid of Adoree Jackson, so corner for Tennessee might actually be the route that they do go. Adoree Jackson was drafted a few years back. I'm not too sure why they released him. I don't think he was playing all that bad. I think he was, average to above average corner. So for whatever reason they released him, they did. I actually do think that Tennessee will probably go ahead and go corner in that slot. Greg Newsom is Greg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good corner. I believe he's lengthy, he's physical. I like that pick a lot, actually.
Yeah, and Vrabel really likes those guys too. So, and then kind of, the same thing with the Jets. I had them taking that Notre Dame kid. Just a hybrid kid. He could play, linebacker. He could go play safety. So that's who I have the Jets taking.
That that would be the first Jets draft pick that they got right since Jamal Adams. So if the Jets go ahead and take him, that's a great pick. I like that kid a lot. He's solid. He's versatile.
Scheme fit.
Yeah, he's a scheme fit. I like what he brings to the table. I heard I was listening to 92.3 The Fan today, and they were talking about him dropping down to the Browns at 26, and all they were saying that if he drops to 26 for the Browns, you're running that card up before you even hit the clock. So I
Yeah.
like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's who I initially had the Browns taking, but the Jets need help. Their defense, I felt like was the biggest need, the biggest hole. Um, so we have
I think we lost him.
32. So JR, do you want to take the final hold of this, the 27 to 32?
I'll try.
I believe in you, buddy.
At 27, I have Baltimore taking, I can't remember, Christian Barmore or Barmore.
Okay. Defensive tackle from Bama.
Yes. Just beefing up that defensive line because I could also see them going secondary if someone's available because in that second meeting, Baker dotted them up with ease. Like, he looked like he was barely trying to throw passes, and he was just. I mean, it helps that he was throwing them on the money, but our wide receivers were just outplaying their secondary.
Baker Mayfield, aka Six God, aka Cleveland Savior.
Six God, I love it. Where am I? I lost my. 27. Yeah, that was 27. Baltimore taking Christian Barmore. Then New Orleans. I had a really tough time with this one. I could see them going offense or defense. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to go with them taking Davis, linebacker from Kentucky.
Okay.
Jamin Davis. That's who I'm going to go with there. And then Green Bay. I have them. Who's the other? That. So my biggest problem with Green Bay is they haven't drafted a skill position player. I think they've only drafted one skill position player since Aaron Rodgers has been on the team.
It's been a while, and he's been dying for another wide receiver. Just gonna throw that out there.
And so
Devontae Adams needs no help.
He doesn't need help. Aaron Rodgers needs the help.
Not when he has Devontae Adams.
Oh my god! Don't be a simp for Devontae Adams.
I am.
Oh,
Top 3 receiver in the league, baby.
I mean that's fair. So, personally, as a football fan, and I like Aaron Rodgers, I would like to see him get help and they draft a wide receiver, but I could see them going completely off the rails and taking an offensive lineman, possibly.
Who's the offensive lineman that you have written down there, big guy, or typed out?
Landon Dickerson.
Personally, Landon Dickerson?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Personally, I don't see them going wide receiver in the first round just because of how deep the wide receiver class is this year.
Yeah, and that was the biggest influence on my pick there. Where'd it go?
I'm gonna just butt in when I got something to say.
That's fine.
It's
That's
easier
fine.
that way.
Yeah, I like that too.
I forget.
All right, so you had them going offensive lineman. Who do you have the Bills going at 30?
The Bills.
And there should only be one right answer for this. Or
I
should
have the
say-
Bills going down to the Browns in the playoffs next season.
Oh, okay. I mean, probably. I mean, what? Well, I didn't know that there was only one
only
right
one.
answer.
It's only one.
I hope I get this right then. Is it offense or defense, Aaron?
Oh, I got them going offense.
Oh, well then I'm wrong.
JR, man, I can't wait to see you on Thursday then.
I'm sorry. I have them taking Gregory Rousseau, an edge rusher out of Miami.
Okay.
You guys heard it here first. I am taking over for JR as host of the show.
Co-host. And that's fine. Fine. Take it. Fine. Whatever.
All right. So then, who do you have the Ravens going at 31? Oh, he sniffed. He means business.
I hate the Ravens. Just hearing their name makes me scuff.
So worse than Denver?
Oh yeah, easily.
Okay, that's cool.
Why did the Ravens have so many picks? I don't like this.
I don't like you, apparently. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
All right, 31 for the Ravens.
Well, they got rid of an offensive lineman, so I think they're going to take an offensive lineman.
Okay, so who do you have them taking?
Jalen Mayfield. He's an offensive tackle from the team up north.
Okay. So then who do you have the Super Bowl champs taking
The
at 32?
Buccaneers. I mean, it was really hard to make a pick only because they brought every single starter back. But
true.
I have them adding depth to their defensive line and taking Levi. I got this. Onwuzurike out of Washington.
Sounds good to me. Sounds great to me, man. Yeah, close enough is right. All right, so the Ravens at 27. I have them taking wide receiver. I have them taking Elijah Moore, wide receiver from Ole Miss.
Okay.
Kind of him and Brown. Makes sense to me. 28 to the Saints.
1 second. I don't Baltimore needs a big bodied wide receiver, not another speedster.
That's what
Hollywood
they do,
Brown.
man. They get speed.
Hollywood Brown's their speedster. Willie Snead's a little quick guy. I think if they go receiver, they go for a big body. That's me personally. I don't I who I like as a big body is the kid from LSU, Terrence Marshall Jr. I believe.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about because he played outside well with Chase.
Yeah, I could see them going him. He's a solid receiver, great hands, great size. I'd see them going big body over small speed, but that is what they do, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they went with.
So and with the Saints at 28, they're gonna have to move up for him. I went defense and I know JR, you already said his name already early, and that was Xavier Collins, linebacker Tulsa. So I have them going defense. And then with Green Bay, I know you guys said that the wide receiver class is really, really deep, but I have them taking Kadarius Toney, wide receiver from Florida. The only thing that concerns me there is um, his health. So that's the only thing there. But I mean, you got Devontae Adams, Lazard. Gosh, who else am I missing? Scanling, yeah. So I mean, so it's not like he has to. I mean, with the first round, I mean, you're expecting to play, but I mean, I guess there wouldn't be a lot of pressure.
Just back to the whole COVID year and people with injuries, not the full I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. I'm losing it a little bit, but the full pre-draft experience, no combine, only pro days, all virtual meetings and stuff. I don't see people going going out there taking a risk with a draft pick that has past injuries. From what I've been hearing, I don't think a lot of people are gonna take chances on those type of guys. That's not it's not a bad pick. Green Bay needs another wide receiver. Scantling will have one good game and then so it's not a terrible pick, but again with the whole COVID, I don't see them taking a flyer on an injury guy. If they go receiver, but that's just me. I just wanted to butt in there real quick.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just especially with Green Bay, I mean, if they do need somebody, it'll probably be on the defensive side of the ball too. But um, the Bills at 30, I have them. It's Will kind of hit it already. Hit it on the head. Travis, you wanna finish this off, Will? That's an Eddie. Sorry. Sucker. Clemson running back, he could catch out of the backfield. He can run in between the tackles. Um, agree with Will. I mean, I thought he was going to come out last year. Um, I thought he was the best running back, and then number two for me was J.K. Dobbins. I just like how Dobbins runs the football. But I mean, they get a complete player. I mean, catch, run, block here and there. I mean, so. And then at 31, I have Ravens going defense. I've been hearing they kind of want to trade back. So, but if they do stick here at 31, Greg Russo, defensive end from Miami, kind of just stout that defensive line some more. And then at 32 for the Bucks, the reason why I picked him is because this player is getting older. Sue. So why not bring Christian Barmore, who's almost as big as him, big guy. Well, he's probably a little quicker or just as, but strong too. He's very, very raw as a prospect, but he played well this past season, especially in the title game against Ohio State. So I have them taking Barmore at 32. Again, I mean, the Bucks did bring everybody back. So for me, it was just more of why not get, the possible best defensive tackle. And everything that I've heard and read, this is probably the worst defensive tackle position class in a long time. So, he's a raw prospect. Sue kind of mold. Well, I don't know if you want Sue to really mold him in his antics, but I mean, to me, I mean, you get a young kid like that, and Sue wants to leave in a year or two. Boom, there you go. He should be ready. So that's number 32 for me.
Yeah, with the Bucks, they brought all starters back on offense and defense, so they're they're drafting for depth. That pick, I like that pick a lot. Sue he's getting up there in age, he's getting older, he's less productive. Why not bring in the young guy, built the same way, let him learn with Sue, who was one of the more dominant defensive tackles in the league. I like that one a lot. I do think Baltimore will go ahead and take an offensive tackle to replace the one that they just got rid of. Baltimore, smart front office.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really make a lot of mistakes when it comes to the draft. That's why they're always good. Um, Travis Etienne to the Bills. It makes the most sense. Their running back play is shoddy at best with Singletary and Moss. But do they go out and draft a third running back? Am I frozen? Or do they go out and draft a third running back 3 years in a row? So it's a yes and a no. ETN is a different type of freak. Like I said, I think he's the best in this draft. I think he's the best in last draft. So we'll see where that one goes. And then with Green Bay, like I said, I don't know if they go wide receiver. I don't know if they take that flyer on an injury prone guy. I think they would want somebody who has less of an injury past. That's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just really excited for Thursday to see, what's gonna unfold here. I think we'll see a lot more trades this year than we did last year because a lot of people really stayed put last year. So that's gonna be one thing to look into. Who moves up, who moves down, who gets the quarterbacks of the future, who really is trying to find that one, missing key. For example, the Browns, if they absolutely love Parsons, go get him. So, all in all, real excited, and it's in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, so excited for that. So if you haven't gone downtown to kind of look at it, I know they got the helmets downtown, kind of poke your head and have fun, explore. I mean, I know Cleveland gets a bad rep, but there's a lot to do down there. So all in all, excited. You will be seeing us Thursday, and this is going to be live. The draft starts at 8, and I believe, JR, if I'm not mistaken, we are doing the whole darn thing starting at 8 a.m. Start at not 8 a.m. Oh my gosh, 8 p.m.
I'll be sleeping at 8 a.m. What you talking about? Yeah. I'm excited. I definitely maybe not go downtown during the draft, but I do want to go see the helmets and everything. So stop by there maybe. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a fun time. I'm just glad to not be making picks to rebuild. Just as a Browns fan, it's awesome. And yeah, I can't wait for Thursday. I'll see you guys then.
Yeah, I mean, so the final thing that I kind of want to bring to, Jared's attention is I kind of thought about this as I went for a walk tonight is, you know, yes, we are going live, probably around 8 p.m. And then, as the picks come in, you kind of hear our thoughts and everything. And what I also want to do is, JR, is I want to print off our mocks and kind of just mark right, wrong, and see where we end up at the end of the night. So that's what I want to see. I guess closing thoughts, for tonight as we're wrapping up is one, I want to thank my brother for coming on tonight. I know it's kind of late.
Wait. I want to touch on the Cavs.
No,
Just
not tonight.
No, we don't.
So thank you for coming on, Will. Hopefully we can have you on again and we could talk about Cavs because last time I've been saying I just want to talk about the off season. I hope they get to 25 wins. That was my goal for, the year and for the guys to progress. But thank you for everyone. We are going to be doing this more, kind of recording and getting on YouTube. So, and also too for Thursday, if you guys have any questions since we're live, roll them in, and we'll answer them as we go from there. And then, I will leave it to our guest. I mean, guest, is there anything you want to say, whatever you want to say?
Just thank you guys for having me on. It's been a fun hour and 50 minutes ish. Had a little technical difficulties, but that's all stuff you guys are going to continue to iron out as you progress. Just keep on keeping on, guys. You guys put up a great show. I enjoy listening to it when I get the time to listen to it. Have a good night.
JR.
That's me.
I would hope so. I didn't name you.
No, yeah, it was cool having you on, Will. I'm glad we were able to do this. Yeah, we did have some technical difficulties, but that happens.
I hate Spectrum.
Yeah, especially with Spectrum, that happens. But it was fun. I enjoyed discussing everything. And yeah, I will get mine mock draft put into printable form. I almost forgot what it was called.
Yeah, I know. I think me and Will were kind of concerned for you for a hot second.
I had a slight stroke. I was just like, no, yeah.
It's all good. It's late, bro. We're all ready for bed.
It is. Yeah, I'm ready. I can't wait. I'll see you guys Thursday.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone. And again, go like the Facebook page, the Twitter. We're on Twitter and now on YouTube. Final thoughts, excited for Thursday. Let's kind of curious to see where everyone as a whole kind of ends up. And I will see you Thursday, JR. And then William, thanks again for coming on. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And we will be talking on Thursday. Everyone have a good night.